Hello. So for the first question, describe a workplace experience from the last 30 days. Analyze the experience using the AOR model. What have you learned from your analysis? I'm currently a teacher, so I'm constantly in a leadership position, lesson planning, running classes, all kinds of things. And so specifically within the last week, actually, I had a lesson. I did it one day with one group of sixth graders and it worked phenomenally. They loved it. It went really well. I got all of my content in that needed to be taught. And then the next day, when I went to teach it to another group of sixth graders, it did not go so well. So right after that, immediately after that class, going through my head, constant reflection of, okay, what did I do? What didn't work, what did work, how can I adapt this to make it fit this class, essentially. So I think that especially with teaching, and even just in the world of leadership, constant reflection and adaptation is a must. I definitely think that without it, we as individuals or as leaders are less successful than we could be. So I think that that's really important to continue to use the action, observation, and reflection model in everyday life, especially if you're in a leadership position. And then for question number 2, describe a workplace experience where the personality style of the leader and the followers did not work well together to achieve the desired outcome. Knowing what you know now, how would you handle the situation? So one example that I have for this is in my former job, my former boss and our personalities didn't really mesh well together. I'm more of a direct, give me an answer. Is it a yes or no? Either way, I don't care. I just need an answer kind of person, so that way I can figure out a solution and get done what needs to get done. And he was very much of a yes man, so no matter who was talking to him, it was, oh yes, I agree with you. I agree with you. And it constantly went on like that. So there were multiple occasions where I would go and ask a question and it was, a yes, and this is awesome, this is great, but then he would turn around and say yes to somebody else and it would completely backtrack what he told me, and it was just honestly kind of a hot mess. And so I guess one way that I would have and kind of did towards the end would have been taking more initiative before I actually went and talked to him. So doing my research on my own of, what do I think is going to work? What are 3 or 4 possible solutions to the question that I have that I can give him so, his options are less, meaning that, he's either going to agree with me or he's not. So definitely doing more research before going to him, I think would help. And in that situation, I'd be able to kind of dictate that conversation and kind of go from there and figure out how I need it to be and figure out the solution that I want and how do I get that to work? How do I get us to work better together, essentially?